forever. Well, that is what we call wishful thinking. It's not something that happens. So the history of Saladin, I learnt all this stuff, to be frank, you know, when I was growing up as a kid in Pakistan. Often we would be told stories about Saladin by the great storytelling tradition, oral tradition. And once I remember a puppet show came to our part of Lahore town. And the puppet show, an old puppet master with his younger disciples was doing the story of Saladin. So we grew up with it, but you know, without knowing too much. And it wasn't till I sat down to write the second novel of my Islam quintet, the Book of Saladin, that I really discovered what he was like and what he wasn't like. And then one of the things that came over very strongly to me is how close Islam and Judaism were for a long, long time, till the 20th century, in fact, till the 20th century. Because when the book was published in Arabic, or when and Turkish people would come up to me and say, well, we like the book a lot, don't get us wrong, but we can't understand why the storyteller to whom Saladin is narrating his thing, the writer, is a Jew. I said, because I haven't written it after the formation of Israel. Israel didn't exist at the time, so please don't put everything onto that. And I said 60% of his advisors, all his physicians were Jews. It was normal in every part of the world where Islam ruled, especially Al-Andalus in Spain. Before Islam came to Spain, the Visigothic brand of Christianity which prevailed there had a special law, anti-Semitic law against Jews. They couldn't be circumcised. They couldn't, if they were caught, if they refused to have their children baptized, they could be locked up. All this sort of stuff. 7th century. No wonder the Jews who lived in Spain supported the Arab armies when they arrived with sort of 400 people, not big armies. But they supported them. And that tradition has remained strong till 1948. I'm afraid it's the modern world which has ended that tradition. But that tradition needs to be revived again. And often I'm asked, especially in the United States, of where can Al-Andalus and Saladin's Jerusalem be recreated? Where can the three rings live together? And the only place in the world today where they could live together is Israel-Palestine. Because it's obvious. This is where they could live together in a state which has equal rights for all, as Saladin's Jerusalem did. But that means that one has to stop the fighting, the oppression, the killings, all that has to stop. And the violence has to come to an end. And the last point I want to make is this. The Europe of the medieval period was a Europe of mixed cultures. In 1492, with the expulsion of the Jews from Spain, and then 100 years later, in 1609, with the expulsion of 500,000 Muslims from Spain, the Catholic Church decided to create a single identity Europe. And succeeded. And succeeded. In today's world, a globalized world, with the movement of populations, not that there weren't these movements before, after all, the United States is a nation of immigrants. But in the world in which we live today, you once again have a large Muslim population living in Europe. And this Muslim population doesn't have a single identity. It has various identities. And I'm shocked when I hear nonsense being spoken, that equating, for instance, the hijab, which many Muslim women wear, and incidentally, when they were being forcibly converted in Spain, one of the rules made by the Catholic Church was you can't wear your hijab. But the Spanish nobility and Catholic women carried on wearing it because they used to wear it as well. Because for them it was a sign of distinction, that you're taken something away from them. But, you know, to I hate those countries in the world, or the governments of those countries, like Iran and Saudi Arabia, which force women to wear it. That is unacceptable. But the other side of the coin is saying you can't wear it. And understand, it's a fundamentalist coin. On both sides, however progressive and broad-minded thing they are, you can't force people to do these things. And as for equating the hijab to female circumcision, what has that got to do with any religion? Female circumcision is a tribal custom in parts of Africa, which is unfortunately imposed on young women, whether they are Arab, whether they are Muslim or Christian. There are large numbers of Christians, women who have been circumcised, because it's a tribal custom. It hasn't anything to do with anything else. So if the celebration of Saladin Day, and I hope that this is a model which will be accepted, where we can meet in a nice atmosphere and discuss these things openly, I hope it spreads, because Europe needs it and the Muslim world needs it. And I think it will be of great benefit to all the citizens of Europe, the Europe in which we live and in which our children are growing up. Thank you.